Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Colorful Ethiopia. I'm your host and producer, Edom Bezabis. So today in our short program, we have brought you one of the biggest fashion events that has taken place for the second time here in Addis. So do stay with us till the end, and let's first kick it with Kibron Brahani's Tigrinya song, and I'll get into the details about that later on.
نفسية ولا لاية عيل بيدم مخزارة عيل بيا فوس نفسية ولا لاية عيل بيدم مخزارة عيل بيا مهنني ثاية زيادة عيل بيدم مخزارة عيل بيا فوس نفسية ولا لاية صحين قور غيبة كالأيتاية مخبرت ولدا سلال كنتني عولبها نعيبة أقوى دستني بركتنا يفقرا هي كفتاري بتسحيتي نسا بتسحيتي نسا زي بالعبسة سناغي تركي برهانات كنت وصح معمي ولتفترة سلام الله فوس نفسية ولا لاية عيل بيدم مخزارة عيل بيا مهنني ثاية زيادة عيل بيدم مخزارة عيل بيا فوس نفسية ولا لاية صحين بور غيبة كالأيتاية سلام عبل الاتباقة عند بتتن بمعدو زمارة قلبي تغنينا بروحي وزدمت زقرنكم هنا زوريا خلينا تمنيتي السميرو على ما يسيق باقي ونسميرو على ما يسيق بتخن الساعة صحي بريقة زوري عدميقة سناقي تتكي برهانات قلت فوز حمامي بلست فترة سلالة سناقي تتكي برهانات قلت تماري قلبي هواي بقولها جب والم بيت عيني وصدك يا ولد سلبك يا قلبي عبد وتفتان كنت بتسحيتي والم بيت عيني وصدك يا ولد سلبك يا قلبي وتفتاري كنت بتسحيتي شلال عبد شلال تعبدني الحين أنا بالكف مسين أبغى الرز ينافق ما مالسه من بيت يزعينه هيك أكون تدريزه من بيت عيني وصدق يا ولي سلبك يا قلبي عبد وتفتاري وكبت صحيتي من بيت عيني وصدق يا ولي سلبك يا قلبي وتفتاري وكبت صحيتي سلالة عبد سلالة ጓልም በይት ዓይነየ ወሰድክ ያውን ሰለብክ ያ قلبي عبد وتفطاري وين كبتحيتي ጓልም በይት ዓይነየ ጓልም በይት ዓይነየ ጓልም በይት ዓይነየ ወሰድክ ያውን ሰለብክ ያ قلبي وتفطاري وين كبتحيتي سلام عبد 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 سلام عبد عبد
The African Fashion Reception is a movement that has called for Africans and the diasporan community. They have come together here in Addis at the African Union headquarters. Let's find out more about this in our short program, and I'll be back.
We decided to go with a very sleek and chic look, catwalk runway, New York, Paris. So this year the styles you'll find are very sleek, long, straight styles, ponytails that really frame the face and show the beauty of these Ethiopian women. They're so beautiful, and the men are handsome too. So we went with something that's very chic. We brought a bit of Europe into Ethiopia, and you'll see that reflected in the styles tonight.
African culture is influencing and connecting with global trends and lifestyles to become an inspiration for global fashion. Africa's fashion industry is considered to have a great potential. Thus, African Union Department of Social Affairs and other partners have recently organized the African Fashion Reception for the second time this year at the African Union headquarters.
I think this is a very good event for Africa. It is an event to reflect our culture. We are a continent that is rich in its culture. And when it comes to costumes, designs, dresses, we are rich. We are the richer in the world. Every country is full of cultures. I'm coming from Sudan, and in my country alone, we have more than 100 tribes. Every tribe has a different design of dressing. And when it comes to African countries, every country has different beautiful designs. When it comes to colors, to the way we dress, it is rich. We have to share this richness among each other. We need African countries to learn, to see, to come to know every country's culture reflected in the way the people dress. And I think when we take this on the global level, Africa will be most known by its unique culture, which is reflected in our designs, which is reflected in the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we behave.
You know, there are a lot of things to learn. I don't stay in Ethiopia, so there are a lot of things I'm learning from here. You know, and there were a lot of things I didn't understand last year. So this year, at least, I understand better. So I think our organization this year is better than last year. And you can be sure that it will keep getting better every year.
Creating free trade and partnerships among fashion practitioners throughout the continent is a key prospect for the development of African fashion industry. Legendary Gold Limited is one of the first companies that has taken African designers and models on the catwalk of Paris, London, Milan, Tokyo, and Dubai.
The African Fashion Reception is aimed at, it's not just any fashion event. You know, this is a special fashion event because it is aimed at empowering women and youths from across Africa in terms of capacity building, in terms of training, and in terms of providing funds for them to set up small and medium-scale businesses in the various fashion vocations, shoemaking, garment making, jewelries, and all that. You know, and it's also aimed to improve trade in the fashion industry among practitioners in all over Africa.
African designers from all over the continent, including the diaspora, were invited to participate at the event, in which only one designer was nominated to represent their country to showcase collections of designs for men and women clothing.
So basically tonight my collection is called the Urban Warrior. So it is a guy from the city that just has never been to the rural areas, and the kind of hustle and bustle that you need to do in the city, as opposed to like when we were hunting and you need to herd a herd of cattle, and now we don't need to do that. Now it's much more in the city. We need to find a bit much, what would I say? We need to find new structures and ways of making money and surviving.
The African traditional colors and patterns knitted with modern trends owed their spectators at the event.
The bottom line really is to promote African clothing in such a way that we can export them, and Africa can make a lot of foreign exchange from them. Because this is the Africa Fashion Reception, is also aimed to create market for African designs, to encourage Africans to patronize the local fashion industry. By so doing, we are going to empower the designers, we are going to empower the models, we are going to, the whole value chain, we are going to empower them.
African designers joined their hands to share their experiences and challenges that they had faced in the fashion industry.
When
we get a chance to work with other African designers, we share our experiences, our profession, and challenge as well. We were discussing that we should be able to join our efforts as a continent. This will help us find solution to our challenge together. So an event like this is a great opportunity for all of us.
The most difficult part was for me preparing a collection and packing clothes, because I was trying to look on the internet. It's like how our Ethiopian guys built, and the internet was telling me they're like shorter than average and smaller than us in South Africa. And when I came here, it was the opposite of that. So on yesterday with my fitting, it was a nightmare, because all the clothes were kind of small on the guys. I had other clothes. I had a collection from a previous season that was bigger. That was a size bigger than the one I created last season.
According to analysts of the industry, fashion is a $1.2 trillion global industry, with more than $250 billion being spent annually on fashion in the United States alone. China remains the undisputed giant of garment manufacturing industry, with exports earnings around $117 million. African countries are expected to become big players in the garment manufacturing industry as well. In South Africa, fashion is a $4.3 billion industry. Many profile brands such as Armani, Prada, and Versace have shortlisted South Africa for expansion beyond the traditional fashion capitals. Among East African countries, Ethiopia and Kenya are considered to be the next hub for apparel sourcing, which can enable them to boost their economies. As a result, global retailers like H&M, Tesco, and Primark have turned to Sub-Saharan Africa as a source for clothing. Promotional events like the African Fashion Reception are necessary to introduce African beautiful fabrics, designs, and clothing to the global fashion industry.
The African edition is the one we are having at the African Union. We have the global edition after the African edition, and that comes up in Paris. So the Paris one, by this year, we are having it in November. We are taking all the designers here to Paris. You know, in November, you know, we are having that, and that is the 4th edition. We've had it 4 times in Paris.
The fashion industry may be one of the key sectors that can elevate the socio-economic growth for African countries.
ምላስነው ፍቅር ካለ ትንፋሽም ቀለብ ነው እንጂ ምን ነው صلوات تسمى الشوق درس النشوق يتمن دانكر እድገትን ፍለጋ አሳየኝ አምላኬ አገሬ በስጋው የተበታችን ሁሉም ተመልሶ የምናፍቀው ቀን ምነው ባይደርሱ በደስታ እንዲረዳዱላት በጸጋ እንዲፋቀሩላት ሕዝቦቿን ልጆቿን ባርክላት አገሬ ኢትዮጵያ ተሰዶ ሄዶ በሰው አገር ጉልበቱን እንዝሮ በማደር ጨብጦ ያገኛል ነገር ባላገር 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 ባላገር
Thanks for coming back, you guys. So, 3 renowned Italian jazz musicians have made their way here in Addis to perform at the Italian Cultural Institute. Let's have a look at their amazing improvisation, and I'll be back. Well, this brings us to the end of our program today. We will have some more songs coming up for you guys. I'm your host and producer, Edom Bezabe. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
ስቃኙን አለው ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያገው ልጅ ወድጄ ያልበወት ያደገች ወተት ያልበወት ያደገች ወተት ያልበወት ስቃኙን ያልበወት አይነ ሲንከራተት ያልበው ወይ ክምረት ፈራ ያለም ወይ ነው መቸገም ትዝርየ ያለም ወይ ነው ምርክል ጀደምከተ ያለም ወይ ነው ወደዚያም ሽራየ ያለም ወይ ነው ምርክል መመካዲክ ያለም ወይ ነው ርክርክ ይራየ ያለም ወይ ነው ይበውላት ትልደው ያለም ወይ ነው ይጀርካ ሽራየ ያለም ወይ ነው يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما قالوا تقصدك كمل مكرمو قري قرجابا نربوت نيكو منك نرك قامو ويترك تنكو حاقر عسقوطا تقانا زفلا قالوا يطفطات من جمروا لنا يعلم ولا ما شقالوا ما يلوموا ስቃኙን አለው ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያልበወት ያገው ልጅ ወድጄ ያልበወት ያደገች በወተት ያልበወት ያደገች በወተት ያልበወት ስቃኙን አለው ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያልበወት አይኔ ሲንከራተት ያልበወት يعلم وينهم فقعوا عزيمة يعلم وينهم تبرك الركولي يعلم وينهم تمسجن سسامة يعلم وينهم خمتني باشيلون يعلم وينهم بعينك تقرات يعلم وينهم سكاتك بابالك يعلم وينهم يومشي مجزرناك يعلم وينهم يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما تأجن قدقانا كذب ولا شتم نعم جلن يالبوان نعم روين دار وتم يسقط مارني يا ولا ولا مركون يعيشون يانا فالق اللي ملا كقوز موالك لكرك قمران كما يتقابا صعب جواتا يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما يعلم ولوما شقال ما يلوما
Abdiin jala godhee guyyaa rabbi nafto Addis Oda garado Jalolin tenye Jalalake anan akan obafto Hanga guyanga ho Unding ko haopsitu Garana meraza, oh, they cool as those.